Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave and I won't be deep diving into a 10x10 Monopoly.
What?
Because
I had it all set up.
It's April Fools.
April Fools.
Why you sound so stressy depressy right now?
Because I was really excited to play Monopoly.
We all know you don't even own Monopoly.
I'm sure my parents have one on their shelf somewhere.
You think so?
Probably. From my childhood. I had a baseball version.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
Okay, there was like a SpongeBob version I had wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there was like a Sailor Moon one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not that you care.
I do care.
But I would want to play as like Mars.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, the person you cosplay as? And I'm like, yes, the person I cosplay as.
I would want to play as...
You can play as like Artemis the cat.
That's what I was... You took the words right out of my mouth.
It's the white cat that I have. So I have Luna and Artemis. Luna's the one that Lupin carries around in his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And then Artemis is the one that like he rarely
acknowledges.
Yeah. He only acknowledges it sometimes.
Yeah. Poor Artemis.
Ew. But speaking of Lupin, this lovely April Fool's episode is dedicated to the Dice Jesters mascot himself, and that is our biggest trickster. I would say maybe I'm number 2. Dave's not a trickster at all, that's for sure. No, I move around like some pieces sometimes when you're setting things up. You definitely don't do that. But
before we dive into that, though,
yeah,
I just had a really important update to discuss.
Okay.
So in our last 10x10 challenge, we talked a lot about birds.
Did you buy
when
me
we
a
played
crow?
when we played Wingspan, and I learned a lot about your aversion toward birds.
Okay.
So many specific opinions and stories to back up your claims that you weren't a fan of birds.
Yes.
The other day, I'm sitting and working, minding my business, and you sent me a video.
I did,
and
yeah.
I opened it up, and it's you and a goose who you had befriended. And you were talking to the goose in a very cutesy voice and putting your hand out and extending. I thought, what is going on? I thought you weren't a bird fan, but now it almost seems like you've developed a fondness toward a bird species. So I just wanted to learn more about that. What can you tell me about this new friendship that you've developed, and how does this fit into your worldview on birds?
Okay, well, first, the people I work with are quite interesting. They have like this white noise box that has a bird setting, and they set it to that because, I don't know, I think they know it drives me slightly up the wall. And
drives you batty?
Yeah,
bird terminology?
Yeah. Well, no, it goes deeper. So then, after doing that, they have decided to stick bird images on the glass of my office. So now I'll have to take a picture and show you.
Yeah.
But there's birds on my window.
That's funny.
There's like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 birds on my window.
Every day it'll be more and more, and then your whole window will be covered in birds.
Right, and then somebody's gonna come into my office and they're gonna be like, wow, you must really like birds. And I'm like, that's funny. I despise them.
You'll be known as the bird lady.
I know. I
love that.
I want a crow or raven. But anyways, so it's not a goose, it's a geese. Gooses and geeses are different.
What? Geese is just the plural of goose.
No, a goose is the thing that lays golden eggs. A goose has a yellow beak and it's white and it's bigger than a geese. See, now you got me questioning this, huh? No, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look up goose. Goose. Yeah, see? It's like, oh, huh, interesting. I guess you could use the word goose for a Canadian goose as well. All right, well, you were right. I was wrong. So it was a Canadian goose, and it was the ones that you're usually like, oh, look at all those geese that you see around everywhere. And I was throwing out some recycle, and it just so happened to walk up to me, and I could sense that it wanted to be friends, not foes. So then I baby talked it because, like the topic that we are going to discuss, Lulumans, like that, supposedly, if you baby talk to cats, they're more likely to respond to you. So because I was in such close contact with this goose, I baby talked it. I was like, oh, hello, Mr. Goose.
Mr. Goose.
And then it came up and opened its mouth and like awkwardly put its tongue out, which I've never seen a goose's tongue before, but now that I have, I'm quite concerned. I mean, they could probably like go underwater and like stick their tongue out, and then fish would come thinking it's a worm, and then boom! So I don't even think they eat fish, so I don't know why they would do that.
What do they eat? I would see them hanging around ponds and stuff.
They eat like algae and stuff. But so it was communicating with me, it wanted to be my friend. So then I was like, "Can I pet you, Mr. Goose?" And then I put my hand out and it licked it.
What? I didn't see that in the video.
I'll do it tomorrow. You're like,
so
you have a relationship.
You visit the goose every day now. So it's Mr. Goose. That's the.
It's definitely male. It's a
well,
goose.
I'm excited to see this relationship develop
The
over
story
time.
arc.
One day you'll open up your car door when you get home, and Mr. Goose will come flocking out.
Bring it home. Oh my god, Lupin would love that. That would be so cute. They could be best friends.
You know, for being somebody that doesn't like birds, we have more conversations about birds than anybody I've ever known in my life. I've also learned more about birds with you.
Today I was talking about birds because at my job, that's just a running inside joke, I guess.
Yeah.
My coworker said that if they were a bird, they would want to be a hawk because they could go down and grab things, and they're basically the like top of the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I would be a shoebill stork, and supposedly nobody knows what that is. So I showed them, and they were like, "That's very scary."
It does.
Like, especially for my position at my job. If somebody were to come into the office wanting to discuss something and I'm a shoebill stork just staring at them,
Yeah.
they would walk out. They would find me not approachable.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
completely
it's
agree.
so cute. Mr. Goose might become the new Dice Jester mascot. Who knows? Maybe
Ooh.
Mr. Goose will take better photos.
Lupin doesn't like that. He just...
I know, he's like sitting here listening. He's just like, who's this Mr. Goose you speak of?
It's kind of like we were halfway joking about getting a guinea pig. And he started to act a little bit salty when he overheard us talking about it.
Yeah, he was acting so nice to us. Like, I was like, oh, keep acting up. I'm going to get a guinea pig. He'd be like, purr.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, let's get in to Dice Jester's actual official mascot, Lupin.
Yeah.
Lupin is our cat gamer. He is my fur baby, and we adore him. People ask questions about him, and this episode is dedicated to these questions.
Yeah, because we're still getting through too.
Yeah,
So
getting through to have the first official episode of season 3 ready for you guys.
yeah.
Which is really exciting because we took some feedback from some of the questions that we received and have decided that instead of playing a game as fast as possible, we are going to take our time with it, let it rest, come back to it. At most, we play once. So we're still working on the first one. And that one will be released maybe next week, right? I think we're about done with it, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it should be about next week.
Next week,
Don't quote us on that. We'll see.
But due to season 3 being more, I don't know what's it called.
Involved.
Yeah, that's the word. I was gonna say extensive.
These are games that we'll probably only want to play once in the evening anyway.
Yeah. So due to the games being more like that, we want to give in-depth feedback that is more beneficial as opposed to us like jumping into it and just playing until 2 a.m. to get it done. So, with that being said, we're going to have more in-between episodes, so if there's questions that you specifically have for us, feel free to put it in the comments of this episode. You can email us at thedicejesters@gmail.com, or you could even go to the Instagram and DM me directly, and then I'll shout out your tag if you do leave a question there, but that's up to you. And it's a way to get to know each other, you know? We could be friends. So let's get into the first question for Lupin. And that is, what is Lupin's player color? So Lupin is a ragamuffin.
Starting with
his breed.
Yes.
Lupin's his birthday. If you guys ever want to celebrate it, it is February 3rd. I celebrate it. I give a happy birthday to the little man. I think this year we did we did a boop giveaway for his birthday.
That's right.
And people came and said happy birthday. I loved that. I'm gonna have to be like, it is my birthday next week.
Yes.
My birthday's April 8th. I wonder if anyone's gonna say happy birthday to me. Just put me on the back. Like, instead of being like, happy birthday, Julie, they're like, happy birthday, Lupin's mom.
Yeah. They'll still put him in there somewhere.
You know, I love that. I'm okay with that. Lupin is my everything, so that's completely okay. But what color would he be? So he's a ragamuffin. He's cinnamon color.
Okay.
Supposedly. So I think that he would play yellow. So if you...
Oh, interesting.
If you go to our Instagram page, you may notice that I do a blue heart, a purple heart, and a yellow heart. The blue heart is for Dave, because Dave plays blue. A purple heart is for me, because I choose purple, if that is an option. And then the yellow is more so for Lupin. But I kind of interchange between yellow and purple, depending on what's available. So when I play yellow, it's like I'm playing for Lupin. And when I play a yellow, it makes sense that it would be Lupin's color, because as a cat, he sees shades of blue and green better. So that means that he will be more likely to attack said blue pieces.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go into personality traits when it comes to the yellow color.
Oh.
What do you think yellow has to say about a personality of somebody who chooses that?
There was a little thing that I had seen on Instagram that I had shared to my story, our story, and I can't remember what it said for yellow, but it did match the Lupin.
So I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to divert here, not from what we're talking about, but from what you chose. And I'm going to go with green. Ooh. Okay, and you might wonder why green. And I went more into the level of analyzing his personality, because you think people usually that I play with, blue is a hotly contested color. And by the way, if anybody plays with blue and I'm not blue, I will make mistakes where I move the wrong pieces, I promise. So
you have. That's why I just let you play blue.
Just let me play blue. Yeah. Like, I can't focus on so many things at once. Like, if you just remove me having to remember what player color I am, it'll be a better experience for everybody. So and then, you know, there are other colors that people select, but green,
yes, do tell.
You would think would be a popular color, and I don't have statistics to back this up, but it almost seems like a lesser selected color. When you think about the personality type of somebody who would go for a lesser selected color, they're more likely to be somebody who kind of waits in the background and waits for their move. You know, they want to be the chess master and allow people to make their moves and be a little bit more conniving. And he'll slowly get to that moment where he comes in for the win. Okay. That moment he'd been waiting for and planning seems more like his personality trait to maybe stay back and observe before making any significant moves. Whereas I'm just here for the vibes. You know, I'm blue, going about doing my thing. But he acts like he doesn't have a grand plan, but he'll come in. He'll make that plan work.
Okay, so here I have something from BGG that I found while you were discussing why you chose green. Yeah. But I do see that, because greens tends to be forgotten about. Like, red's chosen, blue's chosen, yellow's chosen.
Red, I associate with more like aggressive player behavior.
I associate it with, like, Power Rangers. The red was always the leader.
Yeah.
But, so blue, a brief, like, over of blue, is generally the first player to grab a piece out of the box. So, isn't it fun being with your friends, socializing, laying pretty little tiles out pleasantly? When you play Carcassonne, you carefully arrange the tiles, doing your best to mimic the lines of that one. So I guess there's that. Red is when you were young, you always ended up losing blue, so you picked red, which is the next quote-unquote coolest color. And then your quest was to divide and conquer. But you're an aggressive player. Green is who needs to be one of the popular colors. See, yeah, there you go. Green is way better. This lets you blend into the background and avoid retaliation. So there you go. And yellow, supposedly yellow, you always get the last color. That's not true. Otherwise, you would never be yellow. One of the 4 dominant colors, it's the worst, and you know it. It's not the worst. Whoever wrote this, it's not the worst.
I don't know that I've ever played with somebody who chose yellow as their primary color.
I choose yellow. No, what does that mean? So I guess that means. So there you have it.
Maybe yellow, maybe green, but
Yellow's like the chaotic one who just runs.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. And then
you. You're so chaotic.
You're like the music that you turn on.
Yeah.
Really scares me. Green is just subtly there. Blue is laid back, go with the flow. Red is aggressive.
That makes sense.
So there you go. So yeah, I think he would be yellow or green.
So a question I have is, which board game do you think Lupin would most enjoy living in? And I was inspired to write this because the question was asked of us recently.
Oh, okay.
Which one do you think Lupin would want to live in? And I have two.
Okay.
For slightly different reasons, but I'm curious if any come to your mind.
I would say Le Havre because there's fish.
That was mine, yes.
And he's definitely a seafood eater.
Yeah.
Anytime I've given him fowl, he does not eat it. He will bury it as if it's his litter. Like, I have given him turkey, and he pretends to bury it. I have given him chicken, he pretends to bury it. I've given him, like, pate chicken or whatever. Like, I've given him shredded. I've given him, like, completely all these different options. And when it comes to bird, he buries it. He also doesn't like if it has, like, cat grass in it or whatever that is. And he doesn't like sweet potatoes. He's not a vegetarian. He's not a bird eater. He is straight fish, seafood eater.
Well, not only that, but I love in Le Havre how you can upgrade the fish to smoked fish, and he would be all about the smoked fish.
See, I don't know.
You think he'd want the upgraded fish?
Maybe. I mean, you could ask him.
So that was my same one. So I answered in two ways. One was thematically, he would want to live in Le Havre. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the physical components of the game, I picked 5 tribes. Because he loves all the meeple and knocking them around, so he would love living in that world where he can just play with an enormous amount of meeple.
So, yeah, I see that. And I haven't played this game yet, but based off the components alone, I think he might also like first rat, just because it has like little rats. And although I don't think he would ever hurt a rat, he would enjoy chasing one.
Yeah, for sure.
Or he might be scared. Like, knowing Lupin, he might chase it, and then it would turn around and kind of chase him back, and he'd be over it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm great. So another question for Lupin is, if Lupin were to pick a game, what game would be his favorite? So not to live in, but just what game would be his favorite? And I want to say it's probably like Carcassonne. And the reason for that is because you build a kingdom. In the way that I present Lupin, it's very... I don't know, I think he would want to be like a king of the kingdom. And then he'd be like, I am Lupin. You know those pet portraits where they have like the really fancy regal clothing on?
Yeah.
And then they have like your cat or dog or whatever pet that you choose head. That's how I imagine Lupin. Maybe with a monocle.
It would have to be a game about a kingdom, though. That makes a lot of sense. Like Castles of Burgundy or Carcassonne.
Yes.
He'd be the king of the castle.
He would be. He would be. He's the king of this castle.
Yeah, he's the king of our lives, really.
I know. Like, every time he wants to shower with me, I'm like, Lupin, you get
that
soaked.
Is real.
And then you
I've
jump
never
in
seen
the
a cat
litter
want
box.
to hop in a shower before.
I remember when we had this whole discussion. I had told you, I was like, hey, Lupin is very unique. He's not like any other cat. And you were like, I have lived with cats my whole life. And I was like, that's great, but Lupin is completely different. And then I was like, he does this and this. And you were like, okay. And then I took a shower. And then you heard meowing. And then he was wet.
Yeah.
And you were like, what?
What happened?
And I was like, he takes showers with me. He jumps in when the shower, like this morning.
Yeah.
You saw him fully in the shower. And you were like,
what is going on?
Yeah, you were like, oh, the cat.
Oh, that's so funny.
I
have a funny question for you.
Yes.
What do you think Lupin's ultimate pet peeve would be in a game?
Waiting for you to take your turn.
Really?
I think so.
For me specifically?
You specifically.
What are you trying to say here? I take long turns?
You do take long turns.
Yeah,
You take longer turns than I do. I'm pretty quick.
I would say if you were to compare me to other board gamers out there, I'm pretty average or slightly below average in the amount of time it takes me to take a turn.
I went on your board game retreat with your friends, and your highest gamer,
the highest level.
The highest level, I would say. He took his turns pretty quick.
Supreme.
Yeah, the Supreme gamer, yeah.
Maybe this is a blind spot for me. It's like one of those 360 assessments, you know, you ever heard of those?
I have heard of those.
Oh, that's funny.
Lulu!
Oh, he's here! Yay!
He's here. Are you here to say meow, Lulu? No, you're just here to sit. Okay, that's okay. Whenever you're ready to chime in, feel free.
The pet peeve I thought of was being left out.
Aww.
You know, so if he were to walk into a room and see other people playing a game, he would be really sad as to, hey, what's going on? Why wouldn't you invite me to play this game?
Yeah, that's true.
Because he doesn't like being left out of things.
That's very true. Because even when I mean, you've noticed, and I apologize for the TMI, anybody, but when I have to go use the restroom, I'm like, Lupin, want to go to the bathroom with me? And he goes, meow. And then wherever he is, he'll start running towards me. He knows the word. And then he'll come and he'll sit with me. We do everything together. It's fun.
Apparently, yeah. We're just learning a lot this episode. That's great.
Hey. People asked about the mascot. People have been
demanding this.
They're like, tell us more about Lulu. Look, he's purring now. Let's have a moment of silence. Let's see if we can hear his purr.
So I do have another funny question. I don't know if you have any more.
No, you can keep going.
But what board game theme do you think Lupin believes is overdone?
I have two. I think he would also think it's card collection because he's not into cards. He likes the meeples, so he wants you to have more games with components that he can like knock over or move, or well, cards, he really can't do anything with cards.
Okay, so you went more component wise, and that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I went more thematically. Yeah. I would say he thinks animal themes are overdone because he wouldn't want to compete with other animals. He wants to be the best. He wants to be the most loved.
That's why he doesn't want us to get a guinea pig.
But yeah, no, you meant who he looked angry when you said that word. But the other one, I think he would not like games or think that's overdone games about aliens. And that's because you and I, when we discuss aliens, people are like, you guys talk about aliens when you're just hanging out. Whenever we talk about aliens, he seems upset. There's something about that topic that doesn't sit well with him.
Like the first time he heard it, he was like,
yeah.
And then he wouldn't stop meowing for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then we were still talking about aliens. They're like, Dave, don't say that. It's the A word now.
Yeah.
Because that word upsets him for some reason. He has some kind of encounter with an extraterrestrial being that he still holds on to.
Right. Well, that leads into this question, which is Lupin a sore loser? And honestly, I'd say yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, he's a sore loser.
He would be the kind of person at the end of a game to say, oh, that was a dumb game anyway, or that was broken.
Or he'd be like, you skipped my turn, and we'd be like, what?
Yeah. Or he would want to audit things at the very end when he was slated to lose. Make sure that we're all playing the rules right.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That was. And I love talking about Lupin. So if you have any more questions about Lupin or about us in general, I mean, Dave and I are here too. I'm just kidding. If it's about Lupin, we're more than happy to answer. We love creative questions. We love any question, to be honest.
Of course.
Feel free to share it with us. Again, our Instagram is Dice Jesters, and then our email is thedicejesters@gmail.com. You can also find us on Patreon. If you do go to Patreon, there are some fun Lupin videos. There's even Lupin's song. I make up a bunch of songs for Lupin throughout the day. So Dave just so happened to have a recording. Hey, you have some memorized that you sing in. So don't try to throw me out there.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. But we'd be happy to have you. There is a free option there, so join away. And remember, just like a curious cat, always stay playful and ready for the next adventure. Until next time, keep those dice rolling and those tails wagging.